Episode 4, the day after May the 4th be with you. Dayna, may the 4th be with you, always.
And also with you? I don't know the...
Yeah.
Said, okay.
Yeah. It's not another podcast. Episode 4 with Tony and Dayna. Hope you had a good week. You?
Yeah. Well, you were there for it.
For most of it.
Pretty good.
Well, I wasn't there for a lot of it, you know.
No, we don't spend quite as much time together anymore as we used to, but it's probably for the best. There's not much going on this week. I feel like the weather hasn't been getting really good in Ottawa yet.
But it's really sunny and nice today, so.
Of course.
I'm actually wearing shorts.
Yeah.
So the chicken legs are out.
It's a jorts day.
It's a jorts. Somewhere John Cena is smiling. So we wanted to start this week off by talking about confrontation I had on a nice sunny day yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Thought everyone was in a good mood yesterday, but no, that's not the case.
We went shopping and we were in a self-checkout line. And when we're in a self-checkout line, we were next to go.
Mm-hmm. And there were only 4 self-checkouts and they were all taken.
And then Dana's like, I want a Gatorade. That's a bad impression of you. You wanted a Gatorade.
And it was right behind me.
The fridge was right beside us. So Dana goes in, she grabs the Gatorade, and as she's grabbing it, the next self-checkout opens up.
Mm-hmm.
So the woman behind us literally just passes us and walks towards the empty cash.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, what's happening? Do you want to finish the story? Because you know how you like to say I like to embellish.
Well, I mean, I said, did she just go ahead of us? Like, I'm pretty sure we were next. So then you walked up to the cash as well. Mm-hmm. And what did you say to her? I actually don't remember.
I said to her,
it was a blur.
I'm like, hey, you walked right by us. We were next in line. And then she said, yeah, I saw you.
That's right. She's like, yeah, I saw, but I waited a second. You didn't go. So I was like, well, I'm going. So she went ahead.
Right. And I said, we were walking to the cash. You literally passed us. She goes, well, your friend was grabbing something out of the fridge. I'm like, yeah, but she was grabbing something out of the fridge as we were walking toward, getting ready. You weren't setting up camp in the fridge.
And then what did you say? You said, can you at least have some decency? Or can you just have some decency?
And what I said was, because she's staring at me.
You said, can you at least have some decency? Or can you just have some decency?
And what I said was, because she's staring at me, and I'm like, can you just let us go? She goes, I can. But you were standing there. And I said, can you just be decent?
Be decent, that's it.
And I said, can you just be decent? And she goes, no, I can. Okay, but you just walked right by. And I'm like, okay.
And you guys are starting to raise your voice.
Yeah, we are.
The employees are looking like,
yeah.
Where's the popcorn?
So as the cash at the end opens up, the woman at the store goes, the cash at the end is open. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. And she goes, no, I'll go. I'm like, no, don't worry. Here, take it. You can find it. It's fine. So as we're walking to the cash, 2 cashes away, she's still chirping us, remember? And do you remember what she said?
Yeah, she said, you can do better, girl, to me. I can. But
hey, listen, I think you might be able to do better than a guy who starts an argument in the middle of a self-checkout.
I just think the decent thing to do when you're behind someone in line, if there's a cash open and you don't see that they're going to the cash, is to say, hey, that cash is open. As to just be like, hey, are you ready? Because that's open.
Or do you mind if I go ahead? You guys are in the fridge.
Just
putting
say
up
something.
camp, apparently.
Instead of just passing somebody with your cart and running to the next self-checkout. I don't know. I thought it was silly.
By the way, we had 2 items on us. She had a full cart.
Yeah, we didn't have very much.
My favorite part was when she said, you can do better, girl. And I just, you always think of something really funny to say after. Because I said, well, you're the one raising your voice. And she starts talking louder. And then we end up just leaving. I could have said, well, we know you're not going home to anybody. So
no, there's no point in continuing confrontations like that in the grocery store. Do you know what happened to me one time at the grocery store? Somebody rammed their cart in the back of my legs at the cashier.
Why? What did you do?
This is pre-self-checkout. So we were at the cashier,
yeah.
Right? And I'm with my mom, and I took my mom to the grocery store. I was 20, 21 or something like that. So we can't put all our stuff on the conveyor belt yet because the couple in front of us has a big, and I mean huge, baby stroller.
Yeah.
It was so big. So they were taking up the space, and I didn't want to just be
Did they put the baby stroller on the conveyor belt?
No, and we're taking up space in the aisle. So we couldn't get our cart close
Yeah.
enough to the conveyor belt to start loading it on. Mm-hmm. So the woman behind us is like, aren't you going to start loading your stuff? Like, you're holding us all up. Yet we're not even being served yet, right?
Right.
So my mom says, well, we would if there wasn't somebody
already.
They have a stroller. We can't get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, oh, and she's so impatient, right? And then my mom's like, can you believe the nerve of some people? To me.
Out loud. But she said it out loud enough that the person would hear it.
Right?
Yeah, right.
And then they start going back and forth. Oh, yeah, you're a real class act, like her to my mom.
Yeah.
And then she starts talking about me. My mom's like, just shut the hell up. Like, my mom's just not not taking it.
Yeah.
So, and then she says to me, yeah, your daughter with that trashy ass red hair. And this is when I had like fire engine red hair. I used to dye my hair all the time.
Yeah. Right.
So then I was like, Mom, like some people just need to talk shit. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling my mom to calm down. And then I forget what she said. I think she called my mom a fucking bitch. So I turned to her. This is going to be bad. Okay. I turned to her and I said, yeah, well, you're a fucking C word. Now I know people don't like the C word. It doesn't bother me that much, but when you call people the C word, they get angry.
Right.
You know, when you call them a see you next Tuesday, gloves are off for a lot of people.
Right. Yeah.
So what does she do? She backs up her cart and rams it into the back of my legs. And Mom's like, call security to the cashier. The cashier's just like, what's
She's
happening?
like, I make minimum wage.
My mom's like, call security. We're pressing charges.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
Mom, it's fine. It hurt. It hurt a lot. I had bruises.
So wait, she
after
rammed
that.
you and then you guys
she
just
ran.
Oh, she took off.
She took off. She left her cart full of groceries. She left everything and she left through the emergency exit of the store. So the fire alarm started going off in the store. It caused a whole scene over somebody just being so impatient and me calling someone to see you next Tuesday.
Oh my God. This is really off topic, but why isn't it see you next Thursday? Why is it Tuesday?
I don't know. Thursday's a better day than Tuesday. I don't know.
Maybe
Tuesday.
because it's Tuesday, not Thursday.
Yeah, that could be it too. Yeah.
Did you
so
get,
now
like-
I don't do grocery store confrontations anymore. I try to stay out of them.
What is it about the grocery store? Is it because we're all hangry?
And nobody really wants to be there.
No,
it's such
nobody
a chore,
does.
right? Doing your grocery list and going shopping and then looking at the price. And it goes up every week.
Yeah, it goes up every
somehow.
week. I used to work at a couple grocery stores, and you know, when you take a break, when you're a grocery clerk, you take a break, and you have to, you know, you don't have a special register line, right? You have to go with any other cash like everybody else. And I remember a few times I would have like chocolate milk and a croissant. I have 2 items, and the person in front of me would have like a full cart. And I remember the cashier would always go, "Do you mind if he goes ahead?"
Yeah.
Most people are cool with it. They're like, yeah, go ahead. But some people were like, "No, I don't think so."
Yes.
And then even me working there, I'd be like, I only have 2 items. Yeah, well, you should have got here earlier. Yeah, I'm like, oh, did you enjoy that laundry detergent you're buying? Guess who stocked that shelf?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. And you'd be on break, right?
Yeah, I'd be on break. So it's
you're
already
on
eating
the
into my
time.
break. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Not the only confrontation you got in though this
What's the other
week
confrontation I got into?
with me
About what?
about the way that I dip my chips in a salsa.
Okay, if you didn't see that video, I posted it on my Instagram at Tony Stark Radio. We're watching the Sens lose. And Dayna's like, I want chips and salsa. I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. So I'm sitting and watching the game. And then I turn to her and you were dipping your Tostitos chips into the actual Tostitos jar. You
Yeah.
didn't put it into a bowl first.
No.
So you're born in a barn? Is that how?
I don't understand. Like that's a normal thing people do.
No, it's not. I've never
People
seen anybody
dip
do that. Nope, never
Their
seen anybody
tortilla
do that.
chips in the Tostitos jar.
Nope, never seen anybody do that.
How sheltered are you that you've never seen anyone do that
I'm
before?
sheltered. I'm the one that wants to get a bowl like a gentleman. And
Why
you're the
would I-
one
I
that's
don't
like,
wanna
let's
have
just,
to-
do you eat soup out of the can? Do you just like swish? Is that what you do?
That's not the same thing. That has to be cooked on the stove. That
But
has to be heated.
you are putting your chip into the jar.
Yeah.
There's a good chance there's going to be remnants of your Tostitos in the salsa that's just going to be sitting
Okay.
around getting soggy.
There's not gonna. No, I never leave any chip behind in the jar.
No, it's not. Yeah, nobody
And
left
don't-
behind.
Don't talk about germs because this is like it's my house. I'm the only one eating out of the jar, and maybe you, and you don't mind the double dipping, right? So big deal.
Okay, well,
Why get a bowl when a jar is bowl adjacent, right? It's,
Well, a jar is a
it's-
bowl
it's
in a way.
basically a bowl.
and
you could-
most
you
of
could
those
just-
Tostitos, by the way, you can't even get it into the jar, so you crack it open.
You can. You didn't let me demonstrate in that video, but like you got to use your angles. Hey, wait. When we have chips and dip and it's hell of a good dip, you dip right out of the container.
I don't know
Why don't you put that in a bowl?
because it's cream. I don't know, something about it. You're right.
I got you now.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'm being a
got
bit of a
you
hypocrite.
now.
Okay, maybe you're right, but the salsa is just different. Maybe because it's so much liquid. I don't know.
And what was the poll like on your page?
Okay, so
on your Insta.
it was 51% to 49%.
Ooh, that's
There was
close.
2 options. It was like, I totally do this and send help. And send help won by 1
No
vote.
way.
51-49 by 1 vote. A lot of people were like either really triggered or like cheering you on. There was no gray area.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with dipping in the jar itself. I don't think you need to dump it into a bowl.
Well,
Like, just
maybe-
wash another bowl. Like, what's the point?
Okay, well, how about eating tuna out of the can?
Nobody does that though, because well, it depends. I do that with the Rio Mare.
Oh, Rio Mare is like the caviar of tuna.
It's delicious.
I
You just
can't.
eat it
I
right out
can't
of
wait
the
to put
can.
that on toast or cracker. I need to eat that right out of the
But
can.
not like a clover leaf. That's going to get drained. You're not going to eat that out of the can. You have to drain it. Put
What
it
about peanut butter?
Well, like if you're
Peanut
eating it
butter
with
fingers.
a spoon. Ew. Did you have to use two like that? There's something gross about that. It makes me uncomfortable.
The lesson here is never come over to our place to eat anything because you don't know.
Yeah,
what's
don't
been
eat
where.
don't eat at our house because there's definitely like crumbs inside all the containers.
Some people were saying that you are cheap because you don't want to pay for the water to clean out the bowl after.
It's not a cheapness thing, it's just a convenience thing. But speaking of cheap, we haven't played cheap or frugal in a long time.
Oh, shit. I totally forgot we played that. Cheap or frugal is pretty much we would bring up situations and we're saying, if you do this, are you being cheap or are you being frugal?
Now we have to define what cheap is and what frugal is. Frugal is being smart with saving money, making choices that just make sense, that help you save a little bit of money, right?
Being cheap is putting your gum under the desk to chew later. instead of getting a new
Reusing
piece.
someone's bathwater instead of running your own, right?
Oh,
Like
is that on TLC?
that
Was
would be
on
cheap.
Smothered or something like that?
Yeah,
Anyways.
that would be cheap.
Do you have some like more situations?
I do. I have 8 cutting sponges in half.
Oh,
Cheap or frugal?
I want to say that's frugal.
Yes.
I'm going to say that's frugal.
I'm upset I've never thought of this. That's actually smart
Yeah.
because if you just like cut a sponge in half, it's still a good size to wash your dishes with.
Yeah.
Although now I use a scrub mommy to wash my dishes and I can never go back. It's the best
We
thing to wash
started
dishes
buying
with.
those a couple years ago, and we actually haven't gone back to a regular
They're
sweat.
$5 a sponge.
You can cut the mommy
insane.
in half. She'd be like Two-Face, like from Batman.
I guess you could.
Yeah.
How about reusing Ziploc bags, like rinsing them out and letting them air dry and reusing them?
I don't do it, but I think it's frugal. It depends on what's been in it. What's in the Ziploc? Was it like bacon or was it like a meat or something?
Maybe you
Then
had like
they'll
some
toss it.
frozen bread in there or something.
That's frugal. I don't think that's cheap at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it with like if I marinated chicken in a Ziploc
Yeah, no, that's
bag.
gotta
I
go.
wouldn't know. And just like reusing the margarine containers
Oh yeah.
and the
When I
soup
came-
containers.
When I came home and I saw we used to buy like the huge margarine containers. If I came home and saw that on the desk, I knew there was some baked good inside.
Yeah, it's not margarine.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Washing and reusing the same piece of floss over and over.
Okay, not frugal, not cheap. It's vile. That's
You know-
disgusting.
Is it though if you wash it and just like listen, I wouldn't do this.
What do you mean
And I
wash
wouldn't
it?
do it because I barely ever floss. But like you use it and then you rinse it under
Yeah.
the sink and then you let it air dry and then you use it again. Isn't that kind of better for the environment too?
Maybe, but you ever smell your floss after using it?
No.
Try it.
No. I won't be doing that. As someone who flosses 4 times a year, that would probably knock me out.
Yes, you do
So
floss 4 times a year. My sister, who's a dental hygienist, has been on you for it. No, you need new floss for that. Yeah.
We'll call it cheap.
Well, vile.
Vile.
Yeah.
Adding cucumbers to a pickle jar for unlimited pickles. So once you've eaten all the pickles, you just add more sliced cucumbers to soak up the juice.
Did you come up with this? Is this your plan?
No, but this is genius if it works. If you can actually do this and the cucumbers actually taste just like pickles after a while, why wouldn't you do that? It makes sense.
Frugal, I guess. How much is a cucumber?
I don't know, like $1
Right? There's
for like an English cucumber or like the small like Lebanese cucumbers.
the small ones are called a Lebanese.
Yeah,
cucumbers?
usually.
I thought they're field cucumbers.
Or that you could get a field cucumber too.
I just know the English ones are really big, like
Yeah.
the tall one. I will say it's frugal. I don't think that's cheap.
I think-
If I came home and saw that, I'd be like, Dayna's been here
Yeah.
doing something. Yeah.
I don't know if I would be able to do that because I'd rather just drink the juice than use it again for more pickles.
Right out of the jar, just like
Anyway.
Tostitos all over again.
How about sharing one drink at a restaurant? So like you order
Cheap.
a Coke and
Cheap.
you split it. That's
Cheap.
cheap?
Yeah, it's cheap.
What if it's unlimited refills? Doesn't that make sense?
Dessert
2
is
straws,
different.
it's kind of
Dessert-
romantic.
What are we in a Disney movie? Let's go to the malt shop, and it's got to be bendy straws. They have to be bendy straws.
Yeah, they would have to be bendy straws.
I'd say it's cheap. You don't think so?
No, I think it's kind of frugal.
What about How about when you go to the movies? You buy because you get free refills.
Yeah.
At the movies. Oh well, do they still do that? By the way, I think they do. What about if you just get one because you share popcorn? I guess you could share a drink at the movies. I
Yeah,
don't. But if you go out on a date, If it's a date, no, it's cheap.
Why is sharing a popcorn not cheap, but sharing a drink cheap?
Because it's $30 for one combo at the movies. A Coke at a restaurant is like
What, $3?
$4 if it's
$4?
bottomless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a $26 difference. So I think that's cheap, but if you're at the movies, it's frugal.
Okay, you'll probably call me out for this one. Stockpiling free condiments from restaurants. Cheap or frugal?
Cheap.
No,
Because you do it constantly.
absolutely not cheap.
What did you
Frugal.
What did you
They're
take from the
free.
restaurant the other day?
Peanut butter.
And we have 2 massive jars.
Yeah,
in
but
the pantry.
If I have peanut butter to go, like, I want to bring it to work or something.
When have you ever done that?
Never.
Exactly. Do you remember we had a couple packets of Louisiana hot sauce from Popeyes sitting in the fridge for
3 years.
3 years. Nobody touches them. So it's cheap.
No, but it's not cheap. It's frugal. It's free. Just like me taking, like, if I ask for Splenda at a place that does breakfast, right? They usually bring me a bunch.
Yep.
I put the rest in my purse. I'm not going to leave them there. I'm going to take them.
You're
They're
like-
free.
You're like Sophia of the Golden Girls. You just need that
included.
little purse that you always walked around with. And then inside will be like a peppermint swirl candies. What else older people have in their purse? Checkbooks, even though no one has a
Cash.
checkbook. Cash.
Cash.
Right? Yeah.
Always have cash. I don't know. I think it's frugal. Even if you go to a fast food place, you ask for extra ketchup, ask for extra mayo, whatever you get on the side, and then you can keep it and use it later.
But there's a difference, okay? When they give it to you, let's say you're on the drive-through, they give it to you, you're taking it home anyways, most likely. You're sitting at a restaurant, the Splenda's on the table, you finish your coffee, then you put it in your purse.
Yeah. Isn't that what I do?
That's grand larceny.
No, it's not. It's free. It's included. It's included in the cost that I pay to eat at that restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take as many as I can get. 3 more.
Okay, yeah, all right. Okay.
Peeling bananas before you buy them to save cost on the weight.
Cheaply genius.
And you put it in a produce bag and you leave the peels.
I've never seen anybody do that.
I've never seen anyone do that, but I'm sure somebody will start after hearing about it.
No,
And
that's
you could
cheap.
do that. You could also do that with grapes. You could take all the grapes off the vine to save.
Okay, because you have all day. You have all day to spend
Save
at the grocery store because someone just rammed you with their shopping cart. How much are you saving?
I don't know. Bananas have been like 69 cents a pound
Since
for
1969.
literally.
Yeah.
So you're really not saving that much.
No.
But that's over time, right? Somebody might say, well, over the course of my life, I've saved $10 in banana peel costs.
All right, next.
Driving with the windows down instead of using your AC, even when it's like 40 degrees outside. I say cheap.
I don't know. Like, I think it's frugal. I think it's okay because if you like that,
Okay.
and you got the sunroof open, that's what I do.
Okay, sure.
I
If
do
you're
use my
alone,
AC. What?
if you're alone in the car,
Oh, you have
but
guests.
don't subject other people
Right.
to being sweaty just
Okay.
because you want to save a couple of bucks.
Oh, yeah. Okay. If I want to drive with the windows down, but I have to pick up some friends, I'll just tell them take a bus.
Yeah, okay.
Give you a ride to the dentist tomorrow. Take the 95.
I think the bus has AC. Last one. If it's yellow, letting it mellow, cheap or frugal.
It's frugal. You know I do this, right? I'm not gonna lie.
Up to a certain point.
I let it mellow out until you can walk into the room and sense something.
Sense.
Sense something
It
without.
hits you in the face. It's very pungent. Letting it mellow is for one, like maybe 2 times.
No.
Like maybe you go
No.
for a number
I
one.
think it's a day. I think
and
it's a
then-
day.
Oh,
I flush- but how many-
God.
but
Thank
wait a
God
minute.
we have separate bathrooms.
But wait a minute.
Thank God.
How often do we use a bathroom in my own bathroom in one day? Twice? So it's 2, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, but I'm also using it like at night when I get up to go to the bathroom at night to pee.
Yep.
So that's at least 3-4 times.
What do you
Because
do for
use
the
it at night
environment?
too.
What do you do
And
for the
sometimes
environment?
when I go into the bathroom,
What do you do for the environment?
what do
Huh?
I do? I wash and reuse the floss going forward
That's just
4
using-
times a year.
That's just using water. I
but
don't
it
flush
smells
every.
like shit. It's disgusting.
No, it doesn't. No.
It
Okay, wait, hold
smells
on.
bad.
Hold on. It's only for ones. As soon as a 2 hits
No,
the
yeah, that's if it's brown,
it
flush
flushed.
it down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
After a couple of mellowing of the yellows,
Yeah, mellowing of the
it
yellow.
starts
I don't know why,
to
but that sounds
smell
really weird.
like it smells. The cat litter box smells
Stop-
better than that sometimes.
Stop cooking asparagus and we'll just kind of deal with it. It won't be as bad.
Yeah, but asparagus is so good.
Did I ever tell you the first time I had asparagus? So I'm in the bathroom at work and then I didn't know that it made your pee smell.
I'm sorry.
I'm at the urinal and I go like this. Oh, oh, the cleaner's got to come in here. Like I had no idea. But then hold on, wait. I got storytelling.
Sorry,
This is gold.
I just think it's hilarious that you can pinpoint the first time you had asparagus. It was Dewey Tuesday in 2010.
Well, it didn't start off Dewey, but definitely ended Dewey.
Moral of the story here at all, it's have separate bathrooms when you're in a relationship.
Yep. Or don't have a relationship and never flush.
No, it'll save your relationship. Separate bathrooms. That's the key.
Want to do some questions?
Yeah, somebody had asked you, and I bring this up because this is going to be more about you. Wanted to know about like celebrities that you've met, working in radio for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't really have anybody exciting that I've met because radio has gotten a lot less glamorous in the last 10 years.
Yeah, right.
So you don't meet celebrities as often.
Okay.
But you have an entire Facebook album of celebrity headlocks.
An artist came in and everyone was taking the same pictures, because, when an artist comes in, people at the station, they meet them and then everyone takes a picture with them. And I'm like, I just want to do something different. So I don't remember who the first one is, but I said, can you put me in a headlock? And then they laughed like a lot. And like, yeah, for sure. And then it just kind of became my thing.
I'm looking at the photos right now. Can we go through them? And you tell me, what your experiences were
Do you want me
like
to rate them?
with each celebrity. Yeah, you can rate them.
1 to what, 5?
Sure, 1 to 5
1 to
or
5?
1 to 10.
Well, 1 to 5 and 1 to 10 is the same thing.
I guess. I feel like the range of 1 to 10 is like better than 1 to 5.
Okay, yeah, I'll try 1 to 10. Sure, yeah.
Okay. How about B.O.B.?
Oh, B.O.B. B.O.B. was cool. I give him a 7. He was a big fan of Scarlett Johansson. That's what I remember from that. We did an interview at a rooftop. Yeah, he was cool. I'd give him a 7. Yeah.
Adam Lambert.
Adam Lambert was an 8.5.
Nice.
Smelled like cinnamon.
You remember what he smelled like.
Well, when someone smells like cinnamon, you kind of remember it. He was cool. It was a couple years after American Idol, and he came in for like a boardroom kind of interview, and he was super cool and very chill. Big fan of his work and stuff. And then I asked him to put me in a headlock, and we'll flash the picture. Yeah, he really got into it. He had like a streaked
the picture
hair.
Is good. Yeah,
great.
I love
he was
the
cool.
picture.
I give him an 8.5. Yeah.
Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, Wiz Khalifa was cool. I'd give him a 9. He was very chill, very down to earth. We talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's a big fan. And whenever I go into an interview, I try to think of what's something that no one's asked you, or what's something like, because, there's a lot of interviews that are like, tell me about your, your next album and who your inspirations and who do you want to work with? Like boring, right? So I always try to find something that the artist is into so I can start the interview off with it. And it usually opens them up. So Wiz Khalifa, I knew he was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan.
Yeah,
so I asked him about that. And he was like, yeah. Like he was like, hey. And I'm like, can we talk about Donatello? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good idea. It's very Nardwuar of you.
Yeah, well, Nardwuar's very influential. When he gave me his headlock, he pretended there was a spliff in my hand.
Oh, is that what it, yes,
yeah,
okay.
he pretended there's a spliff in my mouth.
I'm looking at the picture.
So yeah, Wiz Khalifa was cool.
PK Subban.
7?
7?
7?
Solid 7.
Yeah, 7. He was all right.
Canadian celebrity. Sean Desmond.
Sean's always a 10.
Sean always is always a 10.
Yeah, very accommodating, always like down for more than just the interview to do like fun stuff, and always open. And we go back and forth. Yeah, he's cool.
I haven't met many celebrities, but he's my favorite that I've met because the first time I met him, he acted like he was excited to meet me.
Right.
Like he was like, oh yeah, finally. Oh my God. And I'm like, me? Who am I?
Yeah.
You're Sean Desmond. You're Canadian royalty. I'm nobody, but it's people that make you feel really good like that you always remember,
yeah,
right?
Totally. Yep.
Ellie Goulding looks very into the headlock as well.
Ellie Goulding, I didn't spend a lot of time with her. She did kind of a group interview. She seemed pleasant. 7.
Miguel.
I'd give him a 9.
Yeah.
He was very welcoming, coming in, answered all the questions. I told him, when I interviewed him, I had just gotten a fight with my girlfriend at the time. So I asked for advice. And he was cool about it. I answered all the questions. He does a good dolphin impression. Yeah, 9. Yeah, he was cool. Yeah.
You met Lou Ferrigno, who looks like he's trying not to kill you while putting you in a headlock.
Is bigger than my head.
It is. It actually is.
It was just a picture. I didn't get to interview him, so I can't really rate him. But he seemed very nice.
Demi Lovato. You have a headlock picture with Demi Lovato.
5.
5?
5.
I mean, this was her right out of Disney days, right?
No, this was mid 2010s. Demi Lovato, it wasn't a bad experience and it wasn't a great experience. It was somewhere in the middle. She just, when I interviewed her, just seemed like she wanted to kind of just get it over with and move on, which I understand.
Yeah.
You're busy, but it's a funny question about a story about that. I was interviewing her when One Direction was really big, and there was an interview out, and she said that she didn't want to work with One Direction. She wanted to work with a band called The Vampire Weekend.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of them.
Right. Interview had just come out, and I was one of the first people to talk to her after that interview went out, because if you say anything bad about One Direction, the fans are pretty much any fan base, right?
Yeah.
I said, so you don't want to work with One Direction? I'm like, can I ask why? And she was very, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. I want to work with Vampire Weekend, just not One Direction. It wasn't anything personal. She just said that band was more for her, right? So that video, that interview went viral. It was on eTalk. It was on a whole bunch of different outlets. And like, work was really excited about it.
Wasn't it your hand?
Yeah. When they showed the video, I am nowhere near that picture. It's just my hand and the flash, like the microphone for the station.
Right.
So this hand, if you've seen it before, there's a reason why.
Is there anybody that I didn't mention that you did have a good experience with, or maybe like a bad experience?
New Kids on the Block were cool. I did a lot of phone interviews. I interviewed Bruno Mars, and he was really nice. Kesha.
Didn't you interview Usher?
I did interview Usher, and I upset him in the interview. Backstage in one of the rooms at the Bell Center in Montreal, and he's doing a show. And I just don't like to go in with prepared questions.
Yeah,
you should have some. You should have some.
But you're very good at being off the cuff, and you're very quick.
Well,
that's a talent.
Stop telling people I'm quick. Had a personal dabber. He had a woman who came in after every interview and just dabbed his brow. It was like a makeup artist and dabbed his brow. I'm like, man, that's famous.
Yeah, that is famous.
He was cool, but I had read an interview. I don't remember who did it, and saying, I thought he said he wanted to be the next Michael Jackson. So I asked him about it, and you always can tell when someone's annoyed because they stop and they're like, and he put his head down and he goes, I'm not trying to be the next Michael Jackson. I'm just trying to be Usher.
That's a good answer, though.
Yeah, no, totally.
That's a good answer to the question.
Totally. And but he was very nice, very cool, very down to earth. It's funny, like you meet these celebrities, and some of the most down to earth celebrities, they have like no people with them. Mm-hmm. Jason Derulo shaved my head once, and he came in with one dude.
He shaved your head?
Yeah, for breast cancer.
That's so
breast
cool.
cancer. He buzzed my head.
Yeah.
And we used to do this thing called Shave to Save. So, to show, solidarity with people going through breast cancer. So I would get my head shaved every year. Sean Desmond shaved my head. The mayor of Ottawa shaved my head. So he came in, he shaved my head. He came in with one guy. Then you have other artists who come in, and they're like fresh.
Especially the newer artists.
They have like 25
They come in
people
with a
them.
posse, yeah.
I met Russell Peters. Whatever.
Is he the worst that you've met, it sounds like? Well, rate him 1 to 10. You don't have to say anything else. You could just rate him.
3.
Yikes.
It was very quick, but sometimes you just don't get a great impression from somebody, and he's a comedian. So he's you're always on. You're always trying to make jokes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
3.
I wish I had stories. I met Passenger.
Let Her Go Passenger?
Let Her Go Passenger.
Yeah.
He was very nice, very cool. He was surprised by my interview questions. He was like, oh, you really did your research. And I was like, yeah, I did. That's always what you want, right? When you're interviewing somebody, you want them to know that you really tried hard to come up with these questions and know a little bit more about them.
One of the cooler things is when you do an interview and then the person you're interviewing turns to you and says, hey, good interview.
Good interview, yeah.
I once interviewed this band called the Sick Puppies, and one of the band members was a telemarketer. So I found that out. So I was kind of talking to
that. Yeah, talk about that stuff.
When you find that kind of stuff out, it's what people kind of want to know, because you can go anywhere else for that other stuff.
Well, you can go anywhere to find out, how do you feel about releasing new music, or what's it like performing, in a crowd? You can go anywhere for that stuff. It's those questions that are interesting about what makes celebrities human, right? They're just like us.
The most famous person I met was Richard Branson.
Is he the most famous person you've met?
Richard Branson.
That name doesn't really mean anything to me. To me, it would be Usher. You met Usher? That's crazy.
Context of the world is Richard Branson, Virgin Radio and all that stuff. So Richard Branson, billionaire, right? He came in and he shook every single person's hand in the room.
Did he slip them each $100 bill as well? While he did it?
He would have been a 10 for sure. But that's Richard Branson. He comes in, He introduces himself to there must have been 30 to 40 people in the room. He shook everyone's hand, introduced himself, and he's got a great memory because a friend of mine had to drive him to the airport one year. He said he met him for 10 minutes. And the next year he came in and he walked out to him and he's like, "Hey, Phil." And my friend Phil's like blown away.
That's pretty cool.
I kind of wanted to ask him how much money he had in his pocket.
Remembering somebody's name is such a big deal.
Yeah,
and
especially when you're not good at it.
Successful people have a skill and they remember people's names. And that's part of being a successful in anything, right? Is having those connections with people.
Yep.
And remembering names is so, so important.
People get annoyed when I can't remember their name. I'm really bad at it. Like, I'm like, "Oh, hey, you champ, buddy old pal. Good to see you. Sport."
Do we have any other questions?
Stacey's asking, what shows are we watching right now?
Well, we just finished season 5 of You.
Yes, we did.
Which was really good.
Can we talk about it?
Okay, so if you haven't watched it,
right,
then you may want to
I only really have one point.
Then you may want to stop listening here.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to wrap things up soon anyway.
Follow us on TikTok at Tony and Dayna. Okay, if you've watched it, what did you think of the finale?
I liked it. I like that he's in jail now because it does leave possibilities open for the future, right?
Yep.
But I hate that Kate survived. I think Kate accepted her fate and was willing to sacrifice herself to help stop Joe.
Right.
And I felt like she should have died.
Well, when we saw that she survived, we were both like, what?
How is that possible?
Like, because Bronte pulls Joe out of the bookstore and he proposes outside, a bloody mess. He proposes. And like, they're out there for like 10 minutes. She's been in a bookstore for 10 more minutes. And it's book.
Yeah.
It's books. It's kindling. It's everywhere.
It's
everywhere.
It's literally kindling. You're right.
First half of that last episode I thought was really good.
Yeah.
I thought Joe, at first I'm like, he's got to die. Because it's like poetic justice for everything he's done, right?
That's predictable though. I think in these kinds of shows, the killer always dies. So it's nice to see the killer get real justice, which is a miserable life alone for the rest of his life. And that's the worst thing to him, right? He never wanted to be alone.
He never wants to be alone.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you really see him I think for the first time in the series, you really see him unravel in that second, like the delusion just kind of takes over.
Yeah.
But there's one scene that really bothered me.
Which one?
Bronte and Joe are in the bedroom and she's making him redo Beck's book and take the excerpts out that he had added to the book. So his son calls, he talks to his son. Joe loses it. And Bronte, who's holding a gun, says to Joe, "Give me the phone."
Yeah.
What do you mean, give you the phone? Like, because she wants to call the cops. First of all, you hid a gun under the pillow, but you can't hire a phone, or you can't hide a phone anywhere. What do you mean, give me the phone? What about back up, and take the phone? I was just like, it's just a stupid decision to make. Anyways,
because then the entire next scenes wouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah. Other shows, The Last of Us. We haven't watched the new episode, but we're watching The Last of Us.
Yeah, we're watching The Last of Us, The Pit. So we talked about it.
Oh yeah, and then somebody said online, they're like, "Oh, you should watch Pulse if you love The Pit." Pulse is on Netflix.
Yeah.
It is not like The Pit.
It is not.
Awful.
The Pit spoiled us. And then we watched Pulse and we were like, this is trash.
Halfway through.
Compared to The Pit. So if you're not watching The Pit, watch The Pit. It's so good.
Anything else?
I think that's it. We're still getting used to this format because we're used to radio and some people have been asking us to make the podcast longer.
Matt, Matt, the neighbor, said, "You got to make it longer." And I'm like, "We just don't have that much to say." And he's like, "How's that possible? You had a radio show together for 5 years." I'm like, "Yeah, but you talked for like every hour we talked 6 minutes.
2, 4, 6.
So
6 to 8
5 hour
minutes.
show.
Yeah.
6 times 5. Quick math. 6 times 5.
No, my brain shuts off.
It's
I
like
can't.
30 minutes.
It's like 30 minutes, yeah. Suggestions or requests for us to talk about certain things or feedback, even if it's
constructive criticism.
negative, even if you want to talk shit, go right ahead.
That's
we love
actually
it. We love it.
One question we did get was, what's one of the things you're not going to miss about working in radio? And I said the new Ed Sheeran or the new Ariana Grande or the new, who else?
Well, what's wrong with Ed Sheeran? Ed Sheeran has a great song out right now.
There's nothing wrong with them. But when you work in radio, that one song that you loved at 1 p.m., despise at 5 p.m. because just the amount of
you've heard it 4 or 5 times.
You just heard it so much. So, and you know what's funny? We were driving around in the car and I said, "What is this? This is on the weekend." And you're like, "Oh, it's new Ed Sheeran." That never happened.
And I'm like, this has been out for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't know about it.
So the disconnect from new music
has already started.
Has already started. Hey, thanks for listening. I think we're done.
Yeah, I think we're done. I think we've topped 30 minutes. I don't know. I hope so.
You can hit us up on Instagram at Dayna Breezy, at Tony Stark Radio, and on TikTok at Tony and Dayna.
And of course, yeah, like I said, anything you want to talk about, you want us to cover, or you have feedback for us, let us know. We welcome it.
If you got a problem, we'll solve it.
Check out the while my
How
DJ
many-
revolves it.
How many times have you heard Ice Ice Baby in your life? 50,000 times?
I don't know the words.
And you don't even know the words.
I don't. What is it? Check out my. What is it?
If you got a problem, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Check out the
is that
beat while my
what
DJ
it
revolves
is?
it.
Is that what
Can
it
you look it up?
is?
You know his real name?
Rob Van Winkle?
That's right. You've been winkled.
Check out the hook
While
while D-Shay revolves it.
D-Shay revolves
So it's not
it?
while the DJ revolves it. It's check out the hook while D-Shay revolves it.
Shout out to D-Shay. All right. We're done.
We're done.
See you next week.